Yes, thank you, David. That's an awfully kind description, and those Norwich supporters have nicked my outfit for the day. Oh, an intriguing prospect, this. 10th against 11th in the Championship, and no one really quite sure what to expect. Promotion has done much to restore the fierce Derby pride, and the mixture of solidity and swift counter-punching in their 3 home games so far certainly does bode well for the future. Well, it's all new at Norwich. New coach, relatively new sporting director, and an influx of fresh faces. And the first indications of what they are truly capable of seen last week in an outstanding display against a hitherto impressive Watford. Pride Park, a place, Derby, a city where it's always great to watch your football. And they are certainly enjoying the home comforts once again in the Championship, as they did in League One. And there's a man in the headlines as far as the team news is concerned today. Melder's misfortune, a groin injury, is Craig Forsyth's opportunity. He starts at left back to rack up a 300th league appearance for the club he joined 11 years ago. That's the only change to a lineup beaten at Sheffield United a week ago. Ben Osborne will anchor midfield in the absence of David Ozo, who was providing a great mixture of athleticism and calmness in possession until hamstrung. Kenzo Goudmijn is impressing all at Pride Park, though he was used to more time on the ball in the Netherlands. He's behind an attack full of pace, while Kane Wilson and Terenda Chidewa return to the squad today after injury. Well, Norwich produced their best display so far under Johannes Hoftorup against Watford last week, so no surprise that they named the same 11, operating from the usual 4-3-3 base. Young Oscar Schwartau continuing in a central role, strengthening the Danish connection at the club. Callum Doyle made a successful goal-scoring return to the left-back position, and he'll stay there with the impressive Jose Cordoba in the centre. Kellen Fisher at right-back, where he really excelled last week. Anis Ben Slimani is back in the squad after Onel Hernandez suffered a hamstring injury against the Hornets. Well, solidity very much a Derby County strength, and this man a big part in that, but he can also be a menace at the other end, Don.
Yeah, look, you're absolutely right. Paul Warner's played him from the start in every single game since he's arrived at the club. And of course, his main job is to be a defender, and he'll have his hands full with Josh Sargent. But he does represent a threat in the other box from set pieces, which is obviously an area that Derby really excel in.
Well, talking of threats from the other side, Borja Sainz very much a principal for Norwich.
Yeah, 6 goals and 2 assists in the Championship last season. Very much a settling in period for him, but he started this season really, really well. 3 goals already in the Championship. He's got all the attributes to go a long, long way. Just needs to add that little bit of consistency week in, week out.
Well, an extra bit of resonance for Paul Warne, who's in there, I assure you. Ah, there we are. His family and himself very much a Norwich supporter when they're away from the day job. His mum a fervent follower of the Canaries, although she did give him a spot of tactical advice ahead of this one. Stop Josh Sargent. That will be one thing he will be keenly aware of, among many others, on a day that began with a crisp, wintry chill in the air, but the early afternoon sun is making conditions a great deal more pleasant for us. A very intriguing encounter, and as I said right at the start, Don, no one really knows quite what to expect.
No, look, it's a difficult game to call. On the one hand, you've got Derby County, who have just been incredible at home. 9 wins in a row, not to be sniffed at. Last 7 without even conceding a goal, so you know that Derby are going to be solid, hard to break down. But Norwich last week gave their best performance, and slowly but surely, after a horrible start away at Oxford, they're just growing into the season. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. No idea.
Yes, well, that's how most of us feel, I think, but that makes it all the more compelling prospect. Caden Jackson chasing, and a little extra welcome for him from the Norwich supporters with his recently severed Ipswich connection. This is Mendez-Laing. Jerry Yates and Osborne looking for Mendez-Laing again, and this is really promising. Oh, and an early chance which Caden Jackson can't take, but that certainly bodes well for Derby.
Oh, he just doesn't compose himself. But people talk about Derby being Route 1. Well, look at this. They can do it all when they want to. That is brilliant football of the highest order, except that all-important bit at the end, which is the finish. Brilliant from Derby. Mendez-Laing. Jackson has to concentrate, has to hit the target.
They cut a swathe through the Norwich defence, though. It was a frantic early period in Norwich's game last week against Watford, when they could have been ahead even earlier than they were, and they could have conceded in that period as well. And for all the many good things on display, there was still a nervy period when they were 3-1 up, when they lost a little bit of control. You wouldn't expect it to be perfect at this early stage in a new coach's tenure.
Much younger team this season as well. Recruited younger players. They lost, they lost quite a few players who, in a perfect world, they would have liked to have kept hold of, particularly Bizarra and Jonathan Rowe.
Involvement for Forsyth, painful involvement previous to that for Mendez-Laing, who is still on the ground.
There's a big challenge. This young and Fisher, who had his hands full last week with Ken Sema and played him really well. Beautiful footwork. And Fisher flies in. It's the follow-through, isn't it? Doesn't do a lot wrong, the young man, to be honest with you. He has to go for the ball. It's just the follow-through, really, but you've got no choice when you're making a tackle like that.
Well, third time unlucky there for Nathaniel Mendez-Laing, because Nunez had a go, Serdat's had a go. In the end, it was Fisher that stopped him. Well, saw more like what he would wish to see last week in what has been a bit of a mixed bag of a start and a bit of a transitional time around him in terms of the coaching staff, with the departure of Narcís Pelac and Paul Clements to Stoke. He's got a bit of help that has stepped up from the academy in Joe Schulberg and Declan Rudd to assist in the interim. Tony Roberts coming in as the head of goalkeeping with a magnificent CV. Did have some involvement this week. Arsenal and AC Milan amongst his former employers. He's been to a World Cup finals with Wales.
Sure, he's been at Wolves, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and he did have a hand in the set pieces in his time there. They have Nick Stanley, who takes care of that at Carrow Road at present. That's been a notable issue for some of the staff with the increase to 9 substitutes in the Championship for Derby this season. Not everybody gets a seat. There's Lang back on the field. Schwartau. Cordoba. And Duffy. Serdat's. Oh, just breezed away from Forsyth, but then fortunately from a Derby perspective, his foothold deserted him.
Drew a good save out the Watford keeper last week in not dissimilar circumstances, cutting in onto that left foot and then just loses his footing. A crucial moment.
Generally just drift in from that right side. He had a tremendous start to the Polish league season, so he was match sharp when he arrived, and has carried that into his performances.
Maybe just settling down a little bit now. Derby County started well. Great chance for Caden Jackson, saw plenty of the ball, but Norwich now, this is a new DNA, isn't it? Lots of short passing to control the game with the ball. Derby, one of the best at controlling the game without the ball, as you can see there. Totally different styles, similar results.
Adams now to Jackson.
Well, I think it's a cross, but I think what he means to do is hit it hard and low into an area. Goes for too much power, the ball just rises.
Well, the Derby midfield players very attentive out of possession to on an individual basis to Norwich's midfield three. The middle ground a key area as far as Paul Warne is concerned, and you can see Adams latching on to McLean, Osborne to Nunez, and Houdmine to Schwartau. Make life extremely difficult for them.
I thought he'd won his team a goal kick there. Curtis Nelson took the gamble of allowing the ball to go out. The referee saw it differently. Ollie Langford thinks it came off Curtis Nelson. Oh, it looked like it did as well. He should have known.
Now he's got to be attentive. Quality tends to come from the right boot of Marcelino Nunez. Duffy making a break to the near post. Zetterstrom in trouble. And Cordoba made contact.
Like all goalkeepers do, arms in the air, looking at the referee when they come and miss a ball. I think they should be grateful that they get away with it, really. Looking at the goalkeeper there, nobody does anything wrong. Arrives on the head. Cordoba under pressure.
Sure, Cordoba did make contact.
No,
in
it
the
didn't
end.
look like it, did it? Looked like it should have been a corner. As I say, you mentioned it, fantastic delivery from Nunez. It's usually on the money, and it was there, and it was a test for Zetterstrom.
It's Duffy. Signs to pick it up. Forward by Doyle. Schwartau tussling here with Houdmine. The Dane against the Dutchman. And the Dutchman came out the winner but can't find the pass. This is McLean. Cordoba.
What I'm liking from Norwich, I'm seeing an awful lot of movement ahead of the ball. Lots of little runs in the hope of opening up gaps and space, not necessarily to receive the ball yourself.
Potentially bewitching for an opposition. And Nyambe. Picked up here by Kenny McLean. Fisher.
Signs had made a good run. Fisher never spotted him. He's been doing that, hasn't he? Boa Signs runs in behind, scored a brilliant goal last week. Making a run, Kenny McLean found him perfectly. You can understand what you're saying about Paul Warne wanting to stifle that Norwich midfield. They ran the game last week, McLean and Nunez particularly.
Forsyth. And up now to Yates. Off Duffy, sniffing around is Adams. Cordoba stands firm.
He's hurt himself. Ebou Adams, he tried to use his body to ease Cordoba out.
It's given McLean a bit of latitude, his absence from that midfield situation as well. Cernats. McLean wants the ball again. Jackson came to meet him. Sargent, tight area to try and work something, but Osborne is there for Derby. Adams back on his popular feet, made himself a real favourite with his contribution here last season in the promotion campaign. It's Cashin. Under pressure from Borja Sainz, and forward by Nelson. Nunez. Cordoba. Too many Panamanian internationals come into English football, and certainly not too many via a Bulgarian club.
Quite unique.
Levski Sofia.
Well, he's got that pace about him, hasn't he? Comes in really handy in that area of the pitch. Well, in all areas of the pitch, but you could argue that's perhaps what Norwich City were missing back there.
He picked up by Houdmine, a rare loose ball in that midfield area, certainly from a Norwich boot. Mendes Lang. Potential here for Ryan Nyambe. Trying to feed Jackson. I don't think there'll be too many cries of shoot when Ryan Nyambe gets the ball, given he's gone 265 senior club games without scoring.
As that ball was coming across, I don't think that thought even entered his mind, to be honest.
Zetterström does decide to deal with it and clear the stand to great jubilation.
Yeah, that is good to see. To be fair, Paul Warne had mentioned he gives him coronaries from time to time. He made the right choice there.
It's not the easiest job to do at Pride Park, but he succeeded there. Zetterström. Cernats. Picked up here by Fisher. Little pull by Adams, and a free kick in favour of Norwich.
Started well, hasn't he? Young Kellen Fisher signed a new deal. You can see why. Really good game last week. Started this game well.
Recruited from Bromley, who've clawed their way up into the Football League at long last. A feather in the cap for that football club. Adams' turn to be dumped to the deck. That's a timely intervention and interception by Cashin, with Sargent lurking.
You can see really are trying to make what you'd call penetrating passes, Norwich, into those runners.
Well, they've got their troubles in injury terms in central midfield, Derby, and Ebou Adams in difficulty here.
Well, I wonder if that's the collision up the other end of the pitch, actually, that has caused the damage.
With David Ozo absent, Liam Thompson also on the injured list, and they're hopeful that they can have something closer to a full complement after the international break. Any concern of this nature is a big one.
Well, quite innocuous, really, but this might be the one that caused the damage. He's just lent in to Cordoba. I'm not sure what the damage is.
Well, Paul Warne doubtless hopeful his absence is only temporary. And it seems that way.
I saw the physio cutting his socks, which made me wonder what the damage was, whether he's got a strapping under there that's a little tight or something. No idea.
Hopeful there's a pair of healing hands there.
He's kind of working on that left calf.
So while Derby are short-handed, Norwich look to make them pay. Can Sargent get there? Well, he can, but so can Zetterström. Cernats. Nunez. Poor shot by Cashin.
He'll be quite relieved. He made a mistake there, and Cashin keeping that ball in, but the first test, really. Jakob Zetterström. Again, there's that movement from Sargent. He's found the goalkeepers out quickly. It's really good goalkeeping. Been a good signing, hasn't he? Derby County goalkeeper.
This comes from a very intellectual Swedish family, of which we might alight on a little later. This is Nyambe.
He's done well.
He's made headway.
Yeah, he ran himself up a cul-de-sac when he had a lot of support, but retrieved the situation by earning a corner. And it goes without saying, Norwich will know the threat that Derby County provide from set pieces.
Well, danger lurks at every corner.
Saw, didn't we? Even at Ewood Park, Blackburn on the opening day of the season, as poor as they were, they scored 2 corners, 2 set pieces.
And Nelson, who scored one of those, is lurking at the edge of the 6-yard area. Forsyth right on that near post. And it might be Nelson who'll get the first contact.
The referee has penalised somebody. I'm not sure it's Curtis Nelson. You can see he's the target. We pointed him out before. He just peels at the back. Not really sure what the ref saw.
Headgear for Zetterström, long-standing protection. He spent the best part of a year out of the game after concussion issues. Slang potentially into difficulty. Forsyth and Cashin combine to get Derby moving in a positive direction. Forward by Nyambe, but Doyle is there. Sainz to Nunez. Oh, a lovely bit of play by Schwartau. Challenge from Osborne. Mendes Lang. Yates. Cernats, tenacious. Schwartau will get the free kick.
Yeah,
just a beat given there.
Yeah, the referee's done really well. He's tried to play an advantage, but there's a late challenge in there. Forsyth, he's going to have to tread carefully now. He has a little lunge. Doesn't get the ball. The ball here. He overruns it. Lunges in there. Catches Schwartau.
No advantage accrued, but a yellow card for Craig Forsyth. Not the sort of card to celebrate a landmark, but he's always been reliable and ultra-professional in his time at Derby County. 11 years now with the football club. And clocking up 300 league appearances. Only the second Derby player to do that in the 21st century after Richard Keogh. He's still got quite the way to go if he has the time to reach the league appearance record set by the great Kevin Hector. 486 matches.
Highly doubtful, given his age.
If he can save up for a cryo sauna, he might make it. There's never really a doubt in Paul Warne's mind about him slotting in the absence of Callum Elder. And it is a selection slightly at odds with his stated aim to introduce a bit more youthful athleticism to the team this season, to deal with the lift-in status and the level of the challenge.
Well, it is needs must as well, and obviously Derby County getting promoted. They brought 12 new players in. There were going to be areas of the pitch that they had to gamble with, and players staying fit. Certainly left back was one of them.
Senat's looking to go on the outside this time. Well, at the minute, keep you guessing.
Yeah, at the minute they're looking lively, Norwich City, but without any real end product, without any real threat on the goal.
So in a sense, it's rather similar to the second half I saw them have recently at home to Sheffield United. A lot of the ball and a lot of promise. Well, Sheffield United had the chances of quality. Painful one there for Yates from Duffy, and another card comes out.
Well, once the referee starts, if he shows Craig Forsyth a yellow card for a challenge of 5 minutes or so ago, Duffy has got no real need to even challenge for that ball. He's frustrated, but he too now has to tread carefully.
Yates finding his feet again. Helped on by Cashin, and Yates is there. The offside flag up in any case, but neither Gunn nor Yates were to know that.
No, well, I waited and waited for the assistant referee's flag to see whether it went up or stayed down.
Goudmijn, Adams. Cordoba does not prevent the corner.
Yeah, good couple of minutes for Derby County. Asking one or two questions, getting the crowd involved. Again, set piece. Second balls. There, it's a tight one, but it's a good decision by the assistant. Angus Gunn didn't know the flag would go up. It's a really good save.
Great heroics in the colours of Scotland this season in Portugal. Goudmijn. Well, a turn up over on Sky Sports Plus. The Championship leaders 2 goals down early on against Sheffield Wednesday. Goalless between John Eustace's Blackburn and his old club. Bolton certainly needing a result. Reminders of near things past for Reading and for great Premier League achievement for Huddersfield Town. Also shooting for the summit of League Two today, goalless against Colchester. Well, certainly the set-piece strength is coming to the fore, and they are creating the openings, while Norwich, for all their plentiful possession, are not.
Just lost a bit of fluency, haven't they, Norwich? That's 5 minutes.
That'll allow the Derby confidence, already pretty high here at home, to grow. Doyle, Schwartau making an interesting run. Be quite the Hollywood ball to find him, though, in the end. Different sort of ball found on that occasion. Fisher, threatening delivery. Josh Sargent's in a lot of difficulty still, sadly for him. He would have loved to get on the end of that flashing cross.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. I'm feeling his pain, but Kellen Fisher, this ball has to go along the ground. Once he lifts it like this, with that amount of pace, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to get on the end of it. Stick it along the ground, he might get a Derby defender trying to clear it, turn it into his own net.
All present and correct, Sargent. It's Osborne. Lovely touch there by Yates, and now Mendes-Lang. Adams augmenting the attack here as well, but Kellen Fisher really catching the eye.
Yeah, well, critical of his delivery moments ago, but defending outstanding.
Oliver Langford just keen to say, I've seen you, and I know what is going on.
I think referees have been told, and they try and sort things out before they escalate, so that they don't have to give what people might deem controversial decisions for grappling.
It's Adams and Schwartau. Osborne, now Mendes-Lang.
Been a bright spark since arriving at the football club. Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, captain's armband now. Highly thought of, but that wasn't his best moment.
He certainly had a good number of very good ones. Is McLean, and now Fisher. Challenge there by Adams. Fixture that's tended to go well for the away team in recent times. Less so for those on more familiar territory. So first taste of this great footballing arena, Pride Park. And his style of play wouldn't quite have suited their previous home.
Can vouch for that.
is Cordoba. And Doyle. Inverted full-back to the letter. Nunez, Cernats. And behind off Forsyth, and it's Norwich's turn to try and exploit a set piece to the full.
Yeah, just getting into the final third really well, but it's just that little final piece of the jigsaw eluding them at the moment.
The away swinger this time. Potential for Borja Sainz, and not a million miles away.
Well, he knows as this ball is bouncing to him, he's probably thinking, keep it down, control it. It's not a million miles away. The only thing, doesn't hit the target, but he does a brilliant job in keeping it down. It's an awkward one. Striking a bouncing ball like that, decent effort.
Plain feeding Schwartau, Adams taking charge and accepting that there was an element of risk to that challenge. He's hurt.
He's been in the wars, hasn't he? Opening half an hour here. It's a super tackle. It's just awkward fall, twisting fall.
Well, let's look ahead to some forthcoming attractions from the EFL. Tomorrow, an occasion of note, seven-side, Swansea City and Bristol City lock horns in a 3 o'clock kickoff. Malcolm Christie in attendance, a notable face from Premier League days past, and I'm sure upon seeing him the minds of many Derby fans will be cast back to that crucial goal at Old Trafford that secured their survival.
It's been a tight opening 35 minutes. Neither goalkeeper overly extended, really. Lots of positives for both.
He's just past the 2-year anniversary, taking over at Derby County, and while there have been the odd moan and groan during his tenure, he's gone a long way back to giving their supporters self-respect again, amongst many other things.
Yeah, somebody told me earlier that just over 2 years, is the second longest serving manager in the Championship. I nearly fell off my chair, behind Mark Robins, which highlights many things about the modern era, doesn't it?
Yes, he managed to clock up over 100 games in a single spell, which only 2 other men have done at the Derby helm since Jim Smith left the club. So yes, it's Nigel Clough, incidentally, one of those, and George Burley. Perhaps is not the most popular name with those looking on from Norwich, but there we are. Turned on by Yates, and now Osborne. Oh, and they'll be picked up by Sainz, and he's got Sargent in support. He'll go himself. Bring Cernats in. Danger by no means averted here, and Sainz needed the touch.
Yeah, it's a sclaffy shot from Borja Sainz, but it tests Zetterström. Initial shot gets blocked, comes back to him. That's a second opportunity here. Gets it all wrong, but it tests the goalkeeper. Needs dealing with.
Well, another second chance. Well, Ibu Adams has had surgery of a sort. It's not designed for sartorial elegance. Doyle was piling in. The whistle blows to Zetterström's considerable relief, I would suggest.
Now that is two where the goalkeeper has not looked convincing. Now whether he's fouled or not, we will have a look here. It's Kenny McLean who's standing on him. Absolutely not fouled. I have no idea what the referee has spotted there, but he's a lucky goalkeeper. And if I'm Norwich, everything's going in under his crossbar from here on in.
And Adams has stolen a good few yards. He's in a mood to get on with the game very quickly, understandably so, and spot an opportunity.
He retained his sense of humour.
Yates in there. Doyle looking to get his bearings. It is another Derby corner. Ben Osborne going over there to be greeted warmly, which wouldn't have always been the case here at Pride Park, although he is a Derby lad and a boyhood Derby fan. Cashin trying to get free in there. And Gunn does take charge. Houdmine.
It's one of those, as it drops, it's either going to do one of a couple of things. Either that is one, maybe 1 in 1,000 might fly in the top corner. Not easy.
He is probably by common consent their most technically adept player. Quick bit of recruitment from AZ. AZ Alkmaar, as you may remember them. Marcelino Nunez. There's Duffy. Senats. Adams. Osborne. Mendes Lang. Well, there's been a sense that they can up the tempo. There's never been quite the sense of elegance and composure about it from Derby since that very early move that got that chance for Jackson. Zetterström happy to come a long way and deal with it well. Fisher. Well, he and Senats on distinctly different wavelengths. Comes from a family of noted journalists and scientists. Grandfather on a Nobel Prize committee for physiology and medicine. His mother a newspaper editor. His grandmother was married to the late Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme.
Where do you get this information from?
It's called reading.
Explains a lot.
It's kind of like that line from Brian Glover in Porridge. I read a book once, green it was.
swiftly on, I think. Well, look, whoever he's related to, he hasn't had an awful lot to do in this game, as you can see, but neither has Angus Gunn. Truth be told, it's been a game full of quite a lot of nearly moments, quite a lot of moments where the final third entries are good, but the end product and the decision-making isn't, and that's left us stalemate.
Different ways of getting there, perhaps, but not anything to... Well, anything of any relevance. Gunn made a sharp save, didn't he, from Jerry Yates, but...
Not part of our stats, is it, that? As he was offside.
That first move they produced in the early stages,
Brilliant.
where Jackson had a chance that he's regretting, is exactly the sort of thing that Paul Warne is looking for. A little more composure in possession. Here's Kaldmine. Mendes Lang. It was Duffy who stooped, and McLean was very cool, and Schwartau onto Borja Sainz. McLean. Schwartau. Again, he'd had a good few minutes under his belt with Bromby before he made the switch last month. So he's come in sharp. It's Nelson meeting it. I'm wondering whether there might have been a flag against Borja Sainz there, but not to be.
Well, they're literally a couple of minutes away from not conceding a first half goal here again. Haven't conceded a first half goal here since New Year's Day against Peterborough.
Harrison Burrows.
Yeah.
We should stress we're referring to league matches before there is uproar in Chesterfield.
Absolutely.
Armando Dobra scored in the EFL Cup here in the first half. And those 2 goals conceded in the league last season. So there you go.
Impressive. Whatever league. Very impressive.
Some good moments up to a point. It's certainly not been quite the landmark display they produced last week against Watford.
Well, not dissimilar to Derby. It's simple, they've been much better at home than they have away.
Fisher striding forward with purpose and double determination to stop that burst. Cashin with a pretty emphatic challenge too. Nyambe will steal it. Coyle well placed. Be picked up by Nunez, drifting it neatly. Borja Sainz, Sergeant waits! Vital challenge, celebrated like a goal by Aaron Cashin.
And rightly so, that is a goal saver. It has preserved an incredible defensive record in the first half of games here. It's a good decision by the assistant. Sainz is onside and the deflection takes it nearly into the path of Josh Sargent, whose eyes must be lighting up for a tap in here, but that is outstanding. Not just because he gets to the ball, he has to divert it away from his goal. Very easy for him to turn it into his own net there.
A pair of Danish eyes were lighting up on the bench and American eyes in the 6-yard box. Those of Josh Sargent awaiting this delivery from Marcelino Nunez. And it's Nelson this time who rises to the challenge. advantage played here, and Ebo Adams looking to take advantage after Caden Jackson was felled.
It's another nearly moment, wasn't it? Cashin intervening. It's been a half that has been full of nearly moments.
McLean. Cordoba. Worthy of note there was Kellen Fisher's position, the right back almost inside left. Oh, and Mendes-Lang robbed by Nunez. Will he pay a price? Sargent, well, Cashin's there again, but it's in! And Borja Sainz takes advantage. And Derby do pay for the mistake. But they're wondering themselves whether the ball crept out of play.
Well, everybody from a Derby County persuasion is saying the ball did creep out of play, but the important people are the officials. They're claiming it hasn't, and it's brilliant football and movement, and you kind of feel Josh Sargent has lost his chance there, but it's a brilliant finish from Borja Sainz. They win it back. Nunez robs Mendes-Lang. Great movement from Sargent. Oh, that's well out. Oh my goodness me. Good grief. Now, if the assistant had been on the far side, you could kind of forgive that decision. But the assistant is this side, and he has to spot that that ball is well over the line. Oh, it's not even close. Controversial. Norwich don't care. They're ahead.
And it's him again.
Great finish, by the way. Made to look a lot easier than it was. A lot could go wrong with that.
Well, Saturday lunchtime is the time for flicks to go after Chris Rigg last week.
Well, everybody down on the touchline will now know, because they've got their monitors, they've got all the technology. The Norwich bench will know and not care. The Derby County bench will know and be furious. Poor fourth official. There's nothing he can do.
Simon Mather, there will be a study, I'm sure, in years to come about the higher instances of earache amongst fourth officials than other members of the refereeing fraternity. But there's two mistakes, really, that Paul Warne will be cursing there. The mistake of officialdom, which he can't control, and the fact that they gave the ball away so cheaply in the first place.
Yeah, Mendes-Lang got robbed in a very dangerous area.
Borja Sainz, Marcelino Nunez. Sainz. Goudmijn, now to Mendes-Lang. If he feels he has to atone, he's going the right way about it. Pulled back here for Goudmijn. Oh, lovely feet. Great determination there by Osborne. Mendes-Lang, Forsyth on the scene. And the curtain falls amidst a din and plenty of dissent, plenty of controversy, plenty of class about Borja Sainz's finish, but the goal simply should not count because the ball had crept out of play before Josh Sargent could retrieve it. Fortune smiling on Norwich City, who, for all their possession at times, struggled to create real quality chances. And Derby breached for the first time here at home in the Championship this season. At half-time they trail. Derby County 0, Norwich City 1. Yes, thank you very much indeed. 27th of February, the last time Derby County tasted home defeat against Charlton Athletic. And you will have heard the chorus of derision that greeted Oliver Langford and his team and their emergence from the tunnel. Everybody's seen it in this ground now. Everybody knows that that was a serious bone of contention. No changes in personnel.
Well, every decision that the officials make now against Derby will be greeted with a chorus of boos, no doubt. Can't blame the referee. It's completely out of his control. It's a decision I think we all agree the assistant should have got right, didn't. And the good news for Derby County is there's 45 minutes to try and turn this thing around.
Won 9 league matches in a row here at Pride Park, bridging the gap between the two campaigns. Their best such run since they were champions of England under Dave Mackay in 1975. And they won 11 in a row, and within that was a 4-1 win over Real Madrid in the European Cup. Stevens, the assistant referee, getting a first taste of how his contributions will be greeted.
It'll be a long 45 minutes for him, couldn't it?
Find me someone who says they haven't made an egregious error in the workplace, and I'll find you a liar.
Agreed. Not quite as straightforward as that, though, is it? Like I said, 100% confidence, not a deliberate error, it's just an error. But could be costly. That's the unfortunate thing for Derby County.
Could well stoke the fire. They certainly had some good moments in that first 45 minutes. Mixed bag in performance terms here at home, despite the 100% record. There was an element of the hanging on against Middlesbrough. Decent performance against Cardiff City in a tight game. But there are some seasoned observers here who regard the performance against Bristol City, where they won 3-0, as the best since the Frank Lampard era. And they were on the cusp of a return to the top division. Up towards Sargent, who will win his share. Cannon Kind for Nelson.
Trying to pick the players up. Victim of a mistake. But you cannot afford to feel sorry for yourself. You have to get on with it. Haven't really done too much wrong in that first half.
Signs the goal scorer with a finish of genuine style. Schwartau with a little tug at the shirt of Houdmine. Cashin. Jackson's going to retrieve this one, not quite in the end.
that's a weapon that they must try and use a little bit more. He has got searing pace, Caden Jackson. Although Norwich had the lion's share of the ball in the first half, he needs to keep making those kind of runs.
Part of successive promotions himself with Ipswich Town. Race between Cashin and Fisher. Slight head start for the latter, and he gets it away up to Sargent. Adams with him all the way. His persistence has paid off here. Forsyth now for Derby. Goudmeijer to Osborne. Yates.
I'm told should have turned out. The switch was on. Over to the other side. Nyambu was free. It's those little details, little pieces of decision making. Talking about Caden Jackson, I wonder whether it will even be a thought of switching him over to the other side, because Cordoba has done brilliantly at covering in. I just wonder, Shane Duffy, as good a player as he's been, he wouldn't have the legs to do that on the other side.
Certainly get the sense he'll be a good deal more unsettled by it. His speed across the ground has been a noted feature throughout his life. Caden Jackson, at school he was consigned only to the egg and spoon race on Sports Day.
Is that to give the other kids a chance?
Absolutely. It was only a runners-up prize the others were fighting for otherwise.
You can see there, he's never stopped running since. There's the proof.
Now here's Osborne. Gift there for Fisher, but Borja Science has lost it. And now the hand of apology from Osborne, who was out of trouble as swiftly as he was in it. Forsyth. Oh, some great work here by Mendes-Lang.
I think he's trying to bend that in the far corner. Nathaniel Mendes-Lang had some support in the form of Jerry Yates. Great run, great touch to get past the defender. And yeah, he's definitely trying to pick that far corner out.
Well, now you'll hope to plant it in an area that can be attacked by someone in a white shirt. It's a crowded house, that penalty area. Oh, and Duffy got his head to it first. Well, Oliver Langford has had a very keen eye for what's going on in the penalty area in these situations.
Yeah, usually referees have got 3 or 4 little duels and coming togethers going on that they have to try and look for, but Caden Jackson is penalised, and again, I don't think there's enough in that to warrant stopping the game.
Boyle looking round, searching for the decision from the referee after the challenge from Adams, and he got the decision. It's been an eventful afternoon for him already.
Absolutely.
Chance of sign him up last season, heeded. Now here on a permanent basis. of activity from the Norwich substitutes. Full complement of the 5 allowed, warming up. The history has been one of favouring the away side in this fixture. 2016, the last time Derby won at home, courtesy of a man who's seen it from both sides, Bradley Johnson. Some imminent action. And, the introduction of Anis Ben Slimani appears to be imminent. Returned to the squad today after a muscle problem, in part because of that injury exacerbated for Ronel Hernandez against Watford.
What a touch from Callum Doyle just then. His teammates have wasted it.
And he's got to get back to the day job. Jackson. Behind Yates. Momentum fizzled out quickly for both there.
Yeah, again, this first touch from Caden Jackson wasn't good. Allowed the Norwich defenders to recover, and then the pass wasn't good behind his teammate.
Again, Cloudmine trying to give Schwartau little room for manoeuvre. Osborne is there. Now Adams. And he's kept it moving here for Derby. Jackson. Well, there's uproar now because the majority here felt that was a foul by Borja Sainz.
Well, that was. Sainz was pulled.
Cloudmine forcing a corner from Doyle.
We've got two teams now, neither happy with the referee or the team of officials. I felt that was a nudge. I'd agree it's not. I think that's the correct decision, but Sainz further up the pitch was pulled back.
And that would have relieved the pressure that's building here for Norwich. I don't think there's a single person in this ground who would swap places with Oliver Langford or Mark Stevens, the assistant, there right now.
Or the fourth official.
Well, at least he can say it's not my fault. Oh, and danger lurked again, and it was Curtis Nelson.
Or was it Cashin? Gets his head to the ball. Aimed at that far post. Yeah, it was Cashin. Can't guide it on target.
Cashin in ahead of his centre-back partner. There is a change here, and the fresh young talent that is Oscar Schwartau, the Dane. A club with plenty of them in evidence, being replaced by a Tunisian international, but one that was born in Copenhagen. Right from Sheffield United. Oh, very much at risk. Will Derby get the rewards? It's Adams, deflection. Cannoned off Nunez. And a real sense of belief around Pride Park at the moment.
Yeah, it was the fans that forced them into this press, because it was a reluctant press, if you like, but the fans urging them forward. And they're right behind their boys here. They win the ball back. And they get themselves a corner.
The 11 on the pitch and the multitude in the stands working as a team, as one team. And it's Osborne presiding over this corner. Forsyth coming to the near post. Over his head, and Cordoba rose highest.
Looks solid, doesn't he? Back there.
And he'll have to remain so. Osborne is on for the short one, but he's moved away now. Nelson coming in around the back, makes the first contact, and there it is! On his landmark day, it is Craig Forsyth! And the majority at Pride Park will say the wrong has been righted. Derby County level. On the occasion of his 300th league appearance for the club he's served for 11 years, he scores a vital equaliser.
Well, make that set piece number 6 for Derby County. You could see Nelson, he's been peeling round the back the whole game. And it's a mismatch, isn't it? Kenny McLean is never going to win that battle. Knocks it into an area. Yes, there's a little piece of good fortune. The deflection takes it to Craig Forsyth. And he hits it hard, he hits it low. Finds the net, and it's game on again. And I'll tell you what, let's pay tribute to these home fans. Had they not urged their team to press, they would never have won that corner.
Well, they're back where they should be, but for a decision which will be the chief talking point, almost regardless of the outcome.
Well, now you're worried with your Johannes Torup, because the team have been passive in the second half. They literally have not started. You know, he wants them to be a team that controls games with the ball, controls possession. They have not done that in the second half, and they've allowed all the animosity in this ground, on the pitch and in the stands, to play a part here. See there, nowhere, way off it the second half.
Well, one feeding the other. Osborne, it's an interesting run here from Mendes Lang, which opened up the possibilities. And a searching delivery too! And the head of Cashin. Straight forward for Gunn.
Well, it's a good ball, he rises well, he hangs. They can't direct the header, what a chance this is. Great leap, straight in the middle of the goal, into the grateful arms of Angus Gunn. Big chance.
Cut out by Nyambe. Forsyth had not scored since December of last year against Oxford United.
It's an incredible amount of set pieces, isn't it? Incredible. And it's no fluke. Opponents, you would think, every single corner Curtis Nelson has peeled round the back post. I knew it was coming. They should have done more to stop it.
Cashin full of hunger. Adams. Touch of frustration in the body language of Johannes Torup.
We spoke about the similarities, brilliant home records, not so much away last season. Costly for Norwich City away in one sense. Brilliant home form.
Haldmine with a good ball to Jackson. Adams. In the end, a little lost in the crowd. This is Nunez. Sargent. Nunez again. Norwich trying to restore a sense of calm. And maybe a little more. Ben Slimani. Cordoba cool. McLean able to find Borja Sainz. It's opened up here for Norwich, and he takes full advantage. Well, it's a pretty instant answer from Norwich City, and their man of the moment, Borja Sainz, strikes again.
Well, stung into action, and I'll tell you what's the movement of Josh Sargent here that allows Borja Sainz to carry on bringing the ball. They were attracted to Josh Sargent. They were scared that Sainz was going to slide him down the side, and what they did was they backed off, and they have paid the ultimate price. Look at Sargent there. Cashin goes with him. Nobody gets close enough, and he hits it hard, he hits it low, he hits it with power, he hits it into the corner. Brilliant from Norwich. Not great defending, I have to say, from Derby County, and they have to do it all over again now, this home team and these home fans.
Well, not a scintilla of controversy about it, but plenty of consternation for Paul Warne looking on.
Came out of nowhere, didn't it, really? They'd offered nothing in this second half, but that's the quality.
Starting his 8th game of the season in all competitions, 6 goals, 5 in the Championship, which leaves him there just behind Josh Maja. Double Derby change in the offing. Marcus Harness on the left, and Tarenda Chirewa, who's recovered from a concussion, which he sustained whilst on duty with Zimbabwe. Sargent. Houdmine with almost half a challenge, really. Sargent able to turn. Cernats. McLean and Adams. My understanding now is that Derby are going to make a triple change. Nunez. Cernats on to Fisher. He's got a lot of room to work with here. And that room was swiftly reduced by the industrious Mendes Lang.
He's had a brilliant game, Kellen Fisher. He doesn't quite get his head up quickly enough. Needs to do it now. Just dwells and delays, and that allows time for the interception. Great movement.
You can see that those added layers are not far away from coming, though, as well, can't you? It's great to see a young player really emerging. Not his first taste of life from the start of this level, but head of Jackson was important there. Signs on a hat-trick. Looking to pick out some willing heads inside the area.
Well, it's one of those, when you cross it, if you can aim it for the far corner and hope that either a teammate gets on the end of it or it foxes a goalkeeper because there's runners across him. Dangerous ball.
So there you go, Kane Wilson on the left, back from injury. So they were back from concussion. And Marcus Harness still in the fold. So Mendes-Lang off, Osborne off, and Yambe off. Harness is taking up a station on the left-hand side, and Giroud inside him. Here's Cordoba.
He was pulled to the ground. Referee waiting to see if that pass reached a Norwich player.
A run beyond both Fisher and Harness. Forsyth hoping to get out of trouble. Everyone who looks particularly ruffled or rattled. I think this ball is a good one. This is Jackson. Possibility here for Jerry Yates.
And wrong decision. He had Torreira in support. You see Plymouth's opening goal last night. Ryan Hardy collected the ball, unselfish, laid it back, scored the goal. That's what Jerry Yates has to recognise. Torreira was in that position. Those are the decisions that just the small margins, fine lines, make all the difference.
Slight difference now. Giroud picking up McLean. Adams is getting to know Marcelino Nunez a little better. Chase on for Sirnats. Cashin deals with it well. And Slimane. Marcelino Nunez to Kenny McLean. Victory for Norwich would at least temporarily take them level on points with Leeds United, who they meet next in midweek.
Yeah, up to 7th, wouldn't they?
Before another busy afternoon unfolds. Leeds at home to Coventry. Which is one that will bring back a few childhood memories for some. FA Cup semi-final back in '87. We were all pretending to be Keith Edwards in the playground on the Monday morning with his great header that day. It's Kane Wilson to take the throw. Torreira breaks favourably for Nunez, and now Sargent. But Cashin sets Derby heading in the right direction. It was just too much of a stretch for Jackson.
nitpicking really, but if Erin Cashin can play that ball along the ground rather than in the air, I just think it gives Caden Jackson a much better chance of collecting it.
And Slimani. Threatened to be a bit loose for Goudmijn, but able to gather it in. Now he's under pressure. Borja Sainz has picked his pocket. Sargent, whoa, vital challenge that by Adams.
He's got cramp again. He's got through some work as well, Ebou Adams, but he's on the ground.
Well, it's no exaggeration to say that that challenge has kept Derby alive in the game. Ben Slimani, Nunez. Cordoba now to Duffy. Shane Duffy, and the Derby substitute Tawenda Shirova is booked.
Just a bit late. Ball's gone. This is last ditch, isn't it? Great work by Sainz here. Make sure he doesn't foul. Goudmijn picks out Sargent. That's brilliant recovery. Ebou Adams.
Yellow card for Girona, who's making his championship debut for Derby today, having had a half at Barrow in the Carabao Cup. Changes afoot. It's the end for Ante Cernats and for Kellen Fisher. And Ben Cresceni, a scoring substitute last week, and Jack Stacey are the pair to be introduced. But at the moment, Stacey's got a problem getting the shirt from the start from Kellen Fisher.
Well, you can see why. Young man's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Cresceni. Picked up here by Nunez. Duffy still in attendance here. Adams. Here's Nelson to Wilson. Doyle. With a lapse of concentration, it's Jackson who goes down. And the reaction instant from the referee, not indulging any penalty claims. Well, loses it. This is Marcelino Nunez. Cashin, Adams. Forsyth. Goudmijn, it'll escape his clutches.
Yellow card, won't.
Well, it's one way to stop Norwich from building up any kind of head of steam.
Yeah, it's yellow card that he hasn't really got any choice but to make. Sainz is away, it's cynical. Worth taking, but this is the question here. Gets the wrong side of Cordoba. Is there enough in that for him to go to ground so easily? And that's the thing, he's looking for it. And it would have been really soft. I think the referee's got that right. Better off, be strong, stay on your feet. See what happens.
Kenzo Houdmine in the book. Challenge deemed necessary. So Jerry Yates withdrawn. James Collins is his replacement. Corey Blackett-Taylor is going to replace the embattled Ibu Adams.
Well, he's been excellent, and you can completely understand why the Derby County fans have fallen in love with him. Real great effort and energy, second to none.
So Blackett-Taylor on. He did come in to the left-back position at Sheffield United, and they did end the game with a back three stroke back five, and it looks like they're going to end this game with that setup as well.
Yeah, very much so.
When you have Forsyth in the team, it's a very easy switch, that, isn't it, for him to go into the left position in the back three. Here is Blackett-Taylor and the aforementioned Forsyth. Houdmine. Wilson up against another fresh pair of legs in Cresceni.
Just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball.
Well, David Close, the owner of Derby County, some headlines this week which might have ruffled a few feathers about his desire for outside investment in the club, but that is a position that has been his since the very outset of his regime here. Merely a reiteration of that position, and if there is investment, which he would welcome, he would like to stay involved regardless.
Called him the reluctant owner, didn't they? Saved this football club, the club that he loves. But if it's to go on to bigger and better things, he feels investment may be needed, more investment.
Oh, cash in! Out of nowhere, a mixture of shock and awe around the stadium.
Well, I'm struggling to remember a shot hit harder than this. That is just a rocket. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think anybody was, but that is as pure a strike. Look at the fan reaction. Wow. Desperately unlucky. We might have all gone home for goal of the season had that found the net.
Oh, thunderbolt. And the universality of human reaction there behind the goal.
That was my reaction as well, to be fair. But it was their only shot since Norwich took the lead, and that is testament to Norwich really managing the game. They kind of got back to controlling the ball, which they didn't do at the start of the second half.
So there was always a potential that they could have been caught up in a bit of a whirlwind with the crowd up, and not too long after that equaliser, the atmosphere here at Pride Park distinctly changed. Seeking out Cresceni here, but that should be Wilson's. And a quick reminder for you of tomorrow's offering from the Championship. 7 sides, Swansea against Bristol City. 3 o'clock kickoff in that one. Swansea lingering just outside the playoff places at present. Jackson. And he is fouled.
Moved centrally, hasn't he, Caden Jackson? He's nice and strong there. Callum Doyle. Again, Norwich defenders will say there's not an awful lot in that. Almost optimum distance that for a free kick specialist. Time to get it up and over the wall and down under a crossbar.
Houtmijn's having a discussion, but the way he sees the ball there suggests that there's not going to be a lot of debate. There's a Houtmijn strike, which works gun. Well,
it looked out to me.
Deja vu. And trouble. Well, yes, they're exposed here, Derby. It's Sargent. 3-on-1, Houtmijn racing back. They've worked it perfectly. And Borja Sainz tucks it away for a hat-trick. The first should never have been allowed, but he has been in clinical mood. And the points are heading back to East Anglia.
Well, I just wonder whether not one but two of Borja Sainz's 3 goals, and let's have it right, he's been brilliant. The ball had been out of play, because certainly the first one was, but there was an incident before they sprung, and it was another tight one. This time the assistant referee is miles away from it. You can kind of almost understand him not being able to see it. This one here, well, that's out as well, isn't it? Just about. More difficult than the first goal, but from that clearance they spring and they do it brilliantly. And again, Cordoba's strong, but look at the numbers. 3 against 1. Can Josh Sargent pick out the right pass? You bet your life. Sainz times his run, make sure he keeps himself onside. Told you about him before the kickoff. Wasn't expecting him to score a hat-trick.
Well, his first in the colours of Norwich City. Repeating a feat against Derby County achieved by Nelson Oliveira, Simeon Jackson and Laurie Sheffield. Amankwa Forson is his replacement. Quite the curtain call, but certainly an element of... well, is there an element of debate? There's certainly an element of controversy about 2 of the 3. Yeah. And the familiar face of Grant Hanley also coming on there for Callum Doyle, as it's Norwich's turn to revert to a back 3/5.
Tough one for Paul Warne in Derby County to take, all because of that all-important first goal. And so often in games of football, the first goal is decisive.
Kenny McLean enjoying himself, but ultimately only finding touch. Harness. He's getting the boos from the Norwich supporters. He's still very much a part of the Ipswich fold. Jackson's in there, Duffy stooping. Oh, and counter charge could be promising again. Amankwa Forson. Oh, and the challenge absolutely perfect from Aaron Cashin, and it had to be.
Outstanding defending again. It's not the first time we've said that about him this afternoon.
Tremendous bit of work, and there's a little bit of hope rekindled by Blackett-Taylor.
Well, the board has gone up. 6 minutes. There is still time here, and there'll be more time added for the goal. Hope restored for Derby County. This is all his own work. The standing finish is James Collins interfering with Angus Gunn. Norwich will argue that he is, and that the flag should have gone up. A little bit like the first goal, even if there is an injustice, Derby don't care. It's about them getting the ball back and seeing if they can salvage an unlikely point. I mean, I think the flag has to go up, really. For me, it should be ruled out.
Angus Gunn, to say the least, has a strong argument. It's another goal with a tinge of controversy. Not the first today, and who knows, maybe not the last. Our first goal in Derby colours for Blackett-Taylor. Now it's Sargent. Cut out by Forsyth. Chirewa. Harness is chasing.
That's overhit. And he rushed it, didn't have to rush it. Here we go, full court press now.
Chirewa. Wilson. Collins waits. Jackson waits. Wilson making progress and showing real determination. And he's got his reward. A corner for Derby.
Well, they wouldn't, would they? Surely. We've seen it all so far this afternoon.
Harness to deliver. Oh, it's agony. And hooked on by Collins. It's a real mess in there. Forsyth trying to get a hold of it. Houdmine. Now Harness. Oh, and Jackson denied. And Collins offside.
Oh. Well, I think if the ball finds the net from the initial effort, the flag stays down. And Derby County walk away with a point. This is nobody offside there. And if that finds the net from Caden Jackson, it's a brilliant save from Angus Gunn. And if they do take the 3 points, that is the big moment. Right at the end of the game from Angus Gunn.
Norwich, but for the goalkeeper, would have been undone by the Portman Road connection. Harness with the cross and Jackson with the shot. Wilson ploughing through. And quarterback taking a cynical but necessary course.
Once again, set-piece opportunity, goalkeeper's going up. Cordoba doesn't play the ball, takes out Wilson. Here we go, last bit of drama, possibly.
So Zetterström, this not in the planning, you would imagine. Well, whatever he does, he has the potential to create a bit of chaos here. Houdmine, and it does come to the goalkeeper. He's reasonably nimble with his feet, but almost put in a desperate position. Thundered across there by Blackett-Taylor, who's keen to win it back. Out it goes, Forsyth to retrieve. There will not be many more chances. Zetterström, the fleet-footed goalkeeper. Houdmine, Wilson outside him. Cordoba on sentry duty at that near post. Houdmine. And Forson, with the goalkeeper way out of his station, is off target.
Yeah. Do you know what? No matter what happens here, I think it's a glorious failure if they're going to fail Derby County. I think Paul Wall will be deep down, he'll be thrilled about many elements of it.
Well, it's not over yet, although Gunn trying to gain plenty of distance from danger, and he succeeded in doing so. Well, to say it's a victory tinged with controversy would be a huge understatement. But a memorable day for Borja Sainz's first hat-trick in Norwich colours. Two of them Derby will claim with some justification should not have been allowed. But they have made the difference, and he is making a giant difference for Norwich City at the moment. But plenty of pride in Derby County's performance, and they made Norwich distinctly nervous towards the end, with Corey Blackett-Taylor scoring his first goal of the club for the club to make it 3-2. Craig Forsyth on his landmark day getting on the score sheet. But as is so often the case, when Derby County and Norwich City meet, it's the away team that takes the spoils. The final score on a dramatic and controversial day at Pride Park is Derby County 2, Norwich City 3.